Now that we know how to work with the class diagram with things like inheritance, composition, aggregation, and association, let's learn how to draw one in Lucidchart. First thing you'll do is go to www.lucidchart.com. Then you'll go ahead and log in, and then you'll click on the documents. Then what you'll do is click on the down arrow on the document and choose blank UML. This will go and create a blank workspace for you to work with UML, creating a class diagram. As you scroll down in your toolbox, you'll see one area to be team. This area contains all your attributes. I double-clicked, I can wipe them all out. Remember, we have the plus sign for public, the minus sign for private, and the pound sign for protected. Let's say that we want to make a private attribute for team name of type string. So you type in minus for private, the attribute name, and then a colon, and then the data type. In this case, it'll be string. We could even do another one. Just press enter, and we'll have another private attribute, and we'll call it mascot. And that will also be a string. In this section, you double click, and this is where you put your methods. Let's say we want a public method to be a getter and a setter for team name. So we do a plus sign, get team name, parentheses, and if you had any parameters, you'd put something in the parentheses, colon, and then the return type, which in this case would be a string. If we wanted to write a setter, we could do public set team name, parentheses, string s name, parentheses, and then we could say colon void, or just leave colon void off. And that's where you type in all your methods. Let's drag another class onto the form. We'll let go, resize it a little bit, and we'll call this class soccer team. Once again, we can come into the attributes, double click on them, and maybe we want to add a private attribute for wins of type int, and another private attribute of losses of type int. Down in here, we type in methods. Once again, I could create a public getter or setter. Get wins, no parameters, and it returns an int. And we could have a public set wins, which receives a parameter, I score, and we don't return anything. Now let's create the relationship. As I move my cursor over this class, you'll see some little red circles start to appear. I can put my cursor on that red circle, press and hold the left mouse button, and drag to the other class. That simply says an association because it's a solid triangle. But since it's selected, we could come up to this area, click on the down arrow, and choose an open triangle. And that allows me to now say soccer team inherits from team. If we wanted to add one more class, we could drag a class onto this document, and let's say that we're going to call this class games, and the attributes will have an int, we're going to make it public, and we'll call it home score of type int, and public visitor score of type int. Once again, remember, you can add whatever attributes or methods or operations you want to. In fact, in this case, let's say we don't even have any operations. I could just leave it empty. Once again, I need to create a relationship. So I put my cursor on one of the red circles and drag it to the other class. Now that I've created that relationship, I can actually do other things with that. If you notice, when I drug it there, you can see it sort of, until you put your mouse cursor on, that little box, and then it really shows up. Add multiplicities. This now says, and I can close that window, 0 to many teams can have 0 to many soccer games. And you can make that multiplicity to be whatever you want. You could say we only have one soccer game, or if we have only one soccer team, I just double click on it, and I could say 1 has 0 to many soccer teams. You can drag and move that around. Next thing you can do is you can add text. We could add the role. The way you do that is you scroll up, grab the little text symbol, drag it over here, and you could let go wherever you want, and we could even say has. In this case, we're saying one soccer team has 0 to many games. The last thing you should do on your class diagram is drag text over here one more time, and you should always put the author name and a little bit of information about that diagram. We'll call it a sports league. And now we save it. File, save as. We'll call it sports league. Click OK. And if I needed to, I could even export that to a PDF by saying File, Print, and you could print it to a PDF,